Hi, Tony DeWitt here, Missouri appellate attorney and a guy who likes to make the law make sense on YouTube. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Harpootlian's cross-examination of Ronnie Crosby and doing the right thing. Let's head on down to the beach and talk about that. So yesterday I watched a little bit of Mr. Harpootlian cross-examining Ronnie Crosby, who is a former partner of Alex Murdaugh. And I was amazed at how poor of a job he really did. In some ways, it's a little bit like watching one of those giant carp that somehow manages to jump into a boat and then just kind of flops around and causes nothing but havoc for 15 minutes. He didn't really get anything done with Crosby except annoy him and annoy the jury. And I will deal with that here in just a little bit. I also think that there was a lot of inappropriate anger there. He was angry at Crosby in order to get him to appear angry. It's an interesting thing, and if you haven't had the opportunity to watch that cross-examination, you should do so. So let's talk a little bit about Crosby and the other partners in that firm. You know, you are in a law firm and you work with Alex Murdaugh pretty much every day. You've been to parties at his house. Your land is right next to his. You hunt on the land. You're good friends with his son. You've known the guy for 20 years. You've practiced law with him. You've tried cases with him. You consider him a friend. And you consider him a colleague. And you think so highly of him that you made him up, that you're a partner in the firm with him. Whether you made him a partner or he made you one, it doesn't really matter. You agreed to be a partner with him. And when you agree to be a partner, you become responsible for your other partners. That's just the way the law works. It's even the way the South Carolina statute on partnership works. So after working with this guy for 20 years, you find out he isn't who you thought he was. He's a liar. He's a thief. And in addition to that, you have the situation now where you are on the hook for all of the theft that he engaged in. Because as a partner in that firm, you are responsible to make those clients whole for what was taken from them. All your income and all of your savings, your house, your car, all of that is now at risk. Because if those clients were to sue the firm, they would likely recover. And even though you have some insurance, and the firm probably has some insurance, there's a pretty strong likelihood that they're not going to be made whole out of the insurance, and so you're going to have to do something about it. In addition to that, the likelihood that you're going to generate new business, given the reputation that the firm has now suffered, and the fact that all of these financial crimes went undiscovered for so long, I mean, the reputation of the firm, even though it's a new firm, has suffered as a result of that, and the goodwill of the business has been tremendously affected. So now, on top of all of that, which you now find out more likely than not, at least it so appears, that he may have murdered not only his wife, but somebody that you care about, in this case, Paul Murdaugh. It was his son, it was Alex's son, and he and Crosby were pretty good friends. They went hunting together. They did hog hunting together. So you and your partners, you have some options to deal with this financial crime that has occurred. First of all, I guess you could all get on a plane and make a quick trip to Rio with whatever money you can pull out of the bank. That's probably not a very worthwhile endeavor, and it would not be an honorable thing for an honorable man to do. But that's an option you could take if you wanted to, and they didn't. They're on the hook for a breach of fiduciary duty here and probably for negligence, and they have to make that right. So they will go to their insurance company and they will demand that the insurance company pay up as much as the limits of their liability insurance provide. And doubtless that insurance company will provide some relief, assuming that there isn't a coverage defense. one hopes there's not a coverage defense, because otherwise these clients are going to have to be made whole by the partners. But even then, there is still a third option for all of these law partners. They can take bankruptcy. And in bankruptcy, basically what happens is they take all of the partners' assets that are not, there are some that are exempt in bankruptcy, like houses in some instances and personal property. It depends on the jurisdiction. I don't know what South Carolina's exemptions are, but there are some things that will not be made part of the bankruptcy estate. But then whatever is in there, it gets divvied up amongst the creditors of the law firm, and there will probably be enough there to satisfy all of these debts, but it's not going to leave these gentlemen with anything to earn a living with. That is the state of play at the time when you learn about the murders. And certainly that could affect how you feel about Alex Murdaugh. But it shouldn't affect your truthful testimony. And rather than leave that dog in its doghouse, Harpootlian brings it out in this clip.
You're trying to take me somewhere that you probably don't want to.
Oh, no, I think I want to.
Answer the question.
Let me ask you this question. Maybe let's get to the meat of the matter here. Have you had to come out of pocket to pay back the money he stole?
Yes, and if you...
How much? Don't tell me you don't know.
Well, we're still counting, Mr. Harpootlian.
Well, how much have you paid so far?
We have had to borrow millions to pay back.
No, how much have you had to come out of pocket?
Well, when you borrow it, you got to pay it back, and I couldn't tell you how much has exactly been paid back as of we sit here today. But yes, and if you're implying that I would come in here and somehow shade truth in any way because of that, I would take high offense with that, Mr. Harpootlian.
I'm concerned about your high offense. Are you angry at him for stealing your money?
I have no feeling one way or the other.
So in that clip, he essentially says, you know, this guy stole all your money, and you're not mad at him? And essentially what Ronnie says is, look, I was mad, I was very mad, but you can't walk around mad all the time. So I've gotten to the point where I am no longer angry. So then Harpootlian takes it the next step and says, so you've forgiven him. Well, no, he didn't forgive him. He didn't forgive him. He just got to the place where he could function without feeling angry all the time. If you have ever been through something traumatic, like a divorce, for instance, when it first comes about, you are so angry you could bite through a steel plate. But as time does tend to heal all wounds, you get to the place where you accept the result and you're not mad all the time. And, you know, sometimes things can happen that will make you angry, but that doesn't mean that you carry around the bitterness with you. Because, again, hating someone or being angry at someone all the time is like taking poison and expecting the other person to die. Everybody knows that. It's one of the reasons why I tell people all the time that they should try as hard as they can to be kind to other people. Because when you are kind, people are kind back to you. It's sort of the way the world works. At any rate, I think Harpootlian made a huge mistake in attacking this witness and essentially saying, well, you're lying about hog hunting, because that's what they were talking about. You're lying about hog hunting because you hate Alex Murdaugh. Well, that makes absolutely no sense. And I think Ronnie Crosby gave it back to him in spades. And I'm glad to see that he did that. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a marvelous day. If you like this video, here are a few others you might try, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a terrific day, guys.